he wasn't able to make the back test work for him in real time. So we did a lot of work with him, trying to get him to trust his system, which was about self-trust, to understand and accept that there's going to be aspects of it that are very hard for him to replicate, because he's not in front of the screen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's going to be slippage as a consequence of that. But that he can start to work more in alignment with him. But there really has to be this self-trust, and that the system's going to have failures, periods of underperformance, and you have to accept that. So we did a lot of work. I mean, this sounds like it's easy, me just telling him to do that, but there's usually a blocker. There's usually something happening that's getting in the way. But it was a very successful program, at least the last time I spoke to him. We have to have another session soon. But but then again, at the same time, these patterns, he would sort himself out, straighten himself up, start working well with the system, and then the patterns would creep back in there. So it's never just a one-off fix. It's a constant understanding, the way markets work, risk, the way systems play out, and how that impacts you.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about staying consistent and disciplined in the game. And there's this, most of the people I have listened to previously, when I was listening to traders who've been trading for decades, said that the system is, or rather trading is boring because you end up doing the same thing, working the same system to get profitability. So how does one stay disciplined in the game?
I'm not going to pass on the answer. I'm going to say it is such a complex problem that has many different contexts. There can be this is where I always say to people is you have to get back to process. You have to realize your purpose, and you have to try and stay present to that. And a lot of stuff is coming in from the outside that we're not even aware of, that manifests as a lack of discipline or a lack of impatience or a rush for excitement or fear. And the challenge is that ill discipline or a lack of discipline is actually a symptom of something that's much deeper. So when people come to me with a problem of discipline, I have to accept that it's a system, and I want them to accept that it's probably a symptom of something far more fundamental and basic and foundational to how they are, and that we have to go deeper. So it's not something that there's an easy answer to. I'd love it to be, and actually, part of the problem that people have is they try and fix their discipline, and if you try and fix a symptom, it's never going to solve anything. A doctor doesn't try and fix a symptom. He might give them something temporarily that helps cure it, but then they need to usually go deeper and find, well, what is causing that.
Right. And then also, many traders sometimes feel a bit lonely when, because all you need is access, capital, connection with Wi-Fi, a good brokerage platform, and your skill set. So would you recommend traders to trade in isolation, or would you recommend them to plug into trading communities? And if they want to trade in communities, is there a bonus to that? Or what would you comment on that?
Okay, so loneliness is one of the most corrosive forces in trading, because the job is structurally isolating, even when you're surrounded by people. So I worked in trading rooms where there were 200 other traders, and even within my lane, we would have 8 to 10 people. So, 4 people together with me on one side, and you could literally push your hands out and hit each other. Okay. And yet, when things weren't working out, it could be the loneliest place in the world.